Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's the second day of hurricane season, and we're already busy. Tropical storm watches in effect for portions of South Florida, as we now have potential tropical cyclone 1 forming from Invest 91L. So let's move on to that. That's our only feature to talk about today, and there's a lot to talk about given the potential impacts to the United States with this one. There's the zoomed in view. We see shear heavily affecting the system, with the convection sustained, which is good if we want a tropical cyclone to form, but bad for the impacts of rainfall. And the good news is for those getting impacted by this is that the center is still far away from where the convection is. The center is currently north of the Yucatan Peninsula, between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, which means that heavy convection, those whites you're seeing on the screen, are actually far to the east of the circulation, and also a little bit even to the south of the circulation. And so that that's beneficial because that means that the storm isn't going to strengthen much, which is very good news for the people of South Florida, Cuba, even the people of the Yucatan, and perhaps even the northern Bahamas as well. So here's the look at potential tropical cyclone 1, winds of 35 miles an hour currently. We could see landfall in Florida around Saturday afternoon. Note that the times on this graphic are in Central Time because that's the time zone that the potential tropical cyclone is currently in. Again, rainfall is the big concern. We could also see storm surge. Let's talk about storm surge and wind first, which are kind of the secondary minor concerns of this, and then we'll talk about that rainfall. As you can see, over a foot possible in areas. Looking here, we do see that we could see tropical storm force winds as early as tomorrow morning as it goes across the Gulf, and so that could be interesting in terms of development. The good news is, like I said, and we'll talk about this here in a bit once I show you guys some models, it's not going to strengthen a whole lot. Even the H-Wharf, one of the most bullish models, doesn't have this thing strengthening a lot. Storm surge, as I mentioned, 1 to 2 feet from the middle of Longboat Key down only on the impacting side of the hurricane, that is the west coast of Florida, the middle of Longboat Key down through the Florida Keys. You could see up to 3 feet between Marco Island and Card Sound Bridge. That is on the south side of the storm, where the winds are more likely to impact the shore. And that makes sense because storms rotate anticyclonically, counterclockwise. And so if the storm hits, say, where Charlotte Harbor is, or the middle of Longboat Key, the winds are going to be stronger south of the storm because those are the incoming waves to shore with this. As taking a look at the rainfall here, we do see on the GFS model, which is on your left-hand side, the more concentrated corridor of rainfall, particularly over Marco Island and Naples, where over a foot of rain could fall due to this storm, and that also could potentially impact the Bermuda pretty well. The Bahamas likely to get around 4 inches of rain according to this model in areas, but generally they fare pretty well. The European model, on the other hand, has much more widespread impact with rain, not as concentrated. Nonetheless, a foot of rain still possible in areas of western Cuba and South Florida, as well as a widespread area of about 4 inches for the southern half of the Florida, the southern half of the Florida Peninsula. Again, this storm has a 90% chance of formation and is very likely to become a tropical cyclone within the next few days before it impacts Cuba. Here's the H-Wharf model right here. You see the center jumps around a whole lot until it actually forms as it approaches Florida. Then it strengthens once it passes Florida. Peak winds with this really only going to be around 50 miles an hour as it stands right now. Of course, it could get a little bit stronger, especially if it gets its act together a little bit sooner. Taking a look at the GFS model, sorry, it's a bit more zoomed in. Again, that center jumps around a lot in the early stages. It passes through Florida, and then it begins to finally get its act together on the other side of Florida. Once it's out to sea, you see Bermuda down there at the end of the loop, with it going just to the north of Bermuda, but still impacting Bermuda nonetheless. Taking a look at the European model, much the same story here, except for the center stays a little more concentrated. Again, you still see it hopping around a little bit, and then it moves a little to the north of where the GFS model was at, nonetheless also potentially impacting Bermuda as well. Again, western Cuba, South Florida, the Bahamas, and Bermuda are our main areas of concern at this time with potential tropical cyclone 1. The main concern, the main impact for those areas is going to be rain. So again, 500 miles southwest of Fort Myers, there's still a lot of time till this storm makes its potential landfall on the Gulf Coast of Florida. But again, we'll only know these things with time. One thing I want to say is that I've noticed a lot of people have been watching these videos as compared to normal. So thank you for that. Please take the time out of your day to hit the like button and subscribe button, because then this video gets out to more people, which hopefully could help save lives. Now, this isn't a major life-threatening storm, but later in the hurricane season, unfortunately, there probably will be one. So the more people that know about these storms and information regarding them, the better. And so thank you for your support in that way. That's all for now. Chris Sixton and Forther, Catholic Media.